Hadīth 1. Narrated Tariq bin Shihab, a Jew said to Umar, O chief of the believers, if this verse, this day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favors upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion, Surah 5, Ayah 3, had been revealed upon us, we would have taken that day as an Eid, festival, day. Umar said, I know definitely on what day this verse was revealed. It was revealed on the day of Arafat, on a Friday. Hadīth 2. Narrated Anas bin Malik, that he heard Umar speaking while standing on the pulpit of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in the morning, following the death of the Prophet, when the people had sworn allegiance to Abu Bakr. He said the tashahhud before Abu Bakr, and said, Amma ba'du, then after, Allah has chosen for his apostle what is with him, paradise, rather than what is with you, the world. This is that book, Qur'an, with which Allah guided your apostle, so stick to it, for then you will be guided on the right path as Allah guided his apostle with it. Hadīth 3. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, embraced me and said, O Allah! Teach him, the knowledge of, the book, Qur'an. Hadīth 4. Narrated Abul Minhal, Abu Barzah said, O people! Allah makes you self-sufficient, or has raised you high, with Islam and with Muhammad. Hadīth 5. Narrated Abdullāh bin Dinar, Abdullāh bin Umar wrote to Abdul Malik bin Marwan, swearing allegiance to him, I swear allegiance to you in that I will listen and obey what is in accordance with the laws of Allah and the tradition of his apostle as much as I can. Hadīth 6. Narrated Sa'id bin al-Musayyab, Abu Hurairah said that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I have been sent with Jawami Kalim, the shortest expression with the widest meaning, and have been made victorious with awe, cast in my enemies' hearts, and while I was sleeping, I saw that the keys of the treasures of the world were placed in my hand. Abu Hurairah added, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, has gone, and you people are utilizing those treasures, or digging those treasures out, or said a similar sentence. Hadīth 7. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there was no prophet among the prophets but was given miracles because of which people had security or had belief, but what I was given was the divine inspiration which Allah revealed to me. So I hope that my followers will be more than those of any other prophet on the day of resurrection. Hadīth 8. Narrated Abu Wa'il, I sat with Shayba in this mosque, al-Masjid al-Haram, and he said, Umar once sat beside me here as you are now sitting, and said, I feel like distributing all the gold and silver that are in it, that is, the Kaaba, among the Muslims. I said, you cannot do that. Umar said, why? I said, your two, previous, companions, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr, did not do it. Umar said, they are the two persons whom one must follow. Hadīth 9. Narrated Hudayfa, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said to us, honesty descended from the heavens and settled in the roots of the hearts of men, faithful believers, and then the Qur'an was revealed and the people read the Qur'an, and learned it from it, and also learned it from the Sunnah. Both Qur'an and Sunnah strengthened the faithful believers, honesty. Hadīth 10. Narrated Abdullāh, the best talk, speech, is Allah's book, Qur'an, and the best way is the way of Muhammad, and the worst matters are the heresies, those new things which are introduced into the religion, and whatever you have been promised will surely come to pass, and you cannot escape it. Hadīth 11. Narrated Abu Hurairah and Zayd bin Khalid, we were with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, when he said, to two men, I shall judge between you according to Allah's book, laws. Hadīth 12. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, all my followers will enter paradise except those who refuse. They said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Who will refuse? He said, whoever obeys me will enter paradise, and whoever disobeys me is the one who refuses to enter it. Hadīth 13. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, some angels came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while he was sleeping. Some of them said, he is sleeping. Others said, his eyes are sleeping but his heart is awake. Then they said, there is an example for this companion of yours. One of them said, then set forth an example for him. Some of them said, he is sleeping. The others said, his eyes are sleeping but his heart is awake. Then they said, his example is that of a man who has built a house and then offered therein a banquet and sent an inviter, messenger, to invite the people. So whoever accepted the invitation of the inviter, entered the house and ate of the banquet, and whoever did not accept the invitation of the inviter, did not enter the house, nor did he eat of the banquet. Then the angel said, interpret this example to him so that he may understand it. Some of them said, he is sleeping. The others said, his eyes are sleeping but his heart is awake. And then they said, the house stands for paradise and the call maker is Muhammad, and whoever obeys Muhammad, obeys Allah, and whoever disobeys Muhammad, disobeys Allah. Muhammad separated the people, that is, through his message, the good is distinguished from the bad, and the believers from the disbelievers. Hadīth 14. Narrated Hammām, Hudayfah said, O the group of al-Qur'an, follow the straight path, for then you have taken a great lead, and will be the leaders, but if you divert right or left, then you will go astray far away. Hadīth 15. Narrated Abu Musa, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, my example and the example of what I have been sent with is that of a man who came to some people and said, O people, I have seen the enemy's army with my own eyes, and I am the naked warner, so protect yourselves. Then a group of his people obeyed him and fled at night, proceeding stealthily till they were safe, while another group of them disbelieved him and stayed at their places till morning, when the army came upon them, and killed and ruined them completely. So this is the example of that person who obeys me and follows what I have brought, the Qur'an and the Sunnah, and the example of the one who disobeys me and disbelieves the truth I have brought. Hadīth 16. Narrated Abu Hurairah, when Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, died and Abu Bakr was elected as a caliph after him, some of the Arabs reverted to disbelief. Umar said to Abu Bakr, how dare you fight the people while Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I have been ordered to fight the people till they say, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and whoever says, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, saves his wealth and his life from me, unless he deserves a legal punishment justly, and his account will be with Allah. Abu Bakr said, by Allah, I will fight him who discriminates between zakat and prayers, for zakat is the compulsory right to be taken from the wealth. By Allah, if they refuse to give me even a tying rope which they use to give to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, I would fight them for withholding it. Umar said, by Allah, it was nothing, except I saw that Allah had opened the chest of Abu Bakr to the fight, and I came to know for certain that was the truth. Hadīth 17. Narrated Abdullāh bin Abbas, Uyaynah bin Hisn bin Hudayfah bin Badr came and stayed, at Medina, with his nephew Al-Hurr bin Qais bin Hisn, who was one of those whom Umar used to keep near him, as the Qur'an, learned men knowing Qur'an by heart, were the people of Umar's meetings and his advisers whether they were old or young. Uyaynah said to his nephew, O my nephew, have you an approach to this chief so as to get for me the permission to see him? His nephew said, I will get the permission for you to see him. Ibn Abbas added, so he took the permission for Uyaynah, and when the latter entered, he said, O the son of al-Khattab, by Allah, you neither give us sufficient provision nor judge among us with justice. On that, Umar became so furious that he intended to harm him. Al-Hurr said, O chief of the believers, Allah said to his apostle, hold to forgiveness, command what is good, right, and leave the foolish, that is, do not punish them, Surah 7, Ayah 199, and this person is among the foolish. By Allah, Umar did not overlook that verse when Al-Hurr recited it before him, and Umar said to observe the orders of Allah's book strictly. Hadith 18. Narrated Asma bint Abu Bakr, I came to Aisha during the solar eclipse. The people were standing, offering prayer, and she too was standing and offering prayer. I asked, what is wrong with the people? She pointed towards the sky with her hand and said, Subhanallah. I asked her, is there a sign? She nodded with her head, meaning, yes. When Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, finished the prayer, he glorified and praised Allah and said, there is not anything that I have not seen before but I have seen now at this place of mine, even paradise and hell. It has been revealed to me that you people will be put to trial nearly like the trial of Ad-Dajjal in your graves. As for the true believer or a Muslim, the sub-narrator is not sure as to which of the two words Asma had said. He will say, Muhammad came with clear signs from Allah, and we responded to him, accepted his teachings, and believed what he said. It will be said to him, sleep in peace, we have known that you were a true believer who believed with certainty. As for a hypocrite or a doubtful person, the sub-narrator is not sure as to which word Asma said. He will say, I do not know, but I heard the people saying something and so I said the same. Hadith 19. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, leave me as I leave you, for the people who were before you were ruined because of their questions and their differences over their prophets. So, if I forbid you to do something, then keep away from it. And if I order you to do something, then do of it as much as you can. Hadith 20. Narrated Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the most sinful person among the Muslims is the one who asked about something which had not been prohibited, but was prohibited because of his asking. Hadith 21. Narrated Zayd bin Thabit, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, took a room made of date palm leaves mats in the mosque. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, prayed in it for a few nights till the people gathered, to pray the night prayer, Tarawih, behind him. Then on the fourth night the people did not hear his voice and they thought he had slept, so some of them started humming in order that he might come out. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then said, you continued doing what I saw you doing till I was afraid that this, Tarawih prayer, might be enjoined on you, and if it were enjoined on you, you would not continue performing it. Therefore, O people, perform your prayers at your homes, for the best prayer of a person is what is performed at his home except the compulsory, congregational, prayer. Hadith 22. Narrated Abu Musa al-Ash'ari, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, was asked about things which he disliked, and when the people asked too many questions, he became angry and said, ask me any question. A man got up and said, O Allah's Apostle, who is my father? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, your father is Hudayfah. Then another man got up and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, who is my father? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, your father is Salim, Mawla Shaybah. When Umar saw the signs of anger on the face of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, we repent to Allah. Hadith 23. Narrated Warrad, the clerk of Al-Mughira, Muawiyah wrote to Al-Mughira, write to me what you have heard from Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. So he, Al-Mughira, wrote to him, Allah's Prophet used to say at the end of each prayer, what means, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah alone who has no partner. Sovereignty belongs to him and to him is praise due, and he is potent over everything. O Allah! No one can withhold what you give, and none can give what you withhold, and the fortune of a man of means is useless before you, that is, only good deeds are of value. He also wrote to him that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to forbid, 1. Qila and Qal, idle useless talk or that you talk too much about others. 2. Asking too many questions, in disputed religious matters. 3. And wasting one's wealth by extravagance. 4. And to be undutiful to one's mother. 5. And to bury the daughters alive. 6. And to prevent your favors, benevolence to others, that is, not to pay the rights of others. 7. And asking others for something, except when it is unavoidable. Hadīth 24. Narrated on us, we were with Umar and he said, we have been forbidden to undertake a difficult task beyond our capability, that is, to exceed the religious limits, for example, to clean the inside of the eyes while doing ablution. Hadīth 25. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came out after the sun had declined and offered the Zuhr prayer, in congregation. After finishing it with taslim, he stood on the pulpit and mentioned the hour and mentioned there would happen great events before it. Then he said, whoever wants to ask me any question, may do so, for by Allah, you will not ask me about anything but I will inform you of its answer as long as I am at this place of mine. On this, the Ansar wept violently, and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, kept on saying, ask me. Then a man got up and asked, where will my entrance be, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, you will go to the fire. Then Abdullāh bin Hudayfah got up and asked, who is my father, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, your father is Hudayfah. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then kept on saying, angrily, ask me. Ask me. Umar then knelt on his knees and said, we have accepted Allah as our Lord and Islam as our religion and Muhammad as an apostle. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, became quiet when Umar said that. Then Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, by him in whose hand my life is, paradise and hell were displayed before me across this wall while I was praying, and I never saw such good and evil as I have seen today. Hadīth 26. Narrated Anas bin Malik, a man said, O Allah's Prophet, who is my father? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, your father is so and so. And then this divine verse was revealed, O you who believe. Ask not questions about things, Surah 5, Ayah 101. Hadīth 27. Narrated Anas bin Malik, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, people will not stop asking questions till they say, this is Allah, the creator of everything, then who created Allah? Hadīth 28. Narrated Ibn Mas'ud, I was with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, at one of the farms of Medina while he was leaning on a date palm leaf stalk. He passed by a group of Jews and some of them said to the other, ask him, the Prophet, about the Spirit. Some others said, do not ask him, lest he should tell you what you dislike. But they went up to him and said, O Abul Qasim, inform us about the Spirit. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stood up for a while, waiting. I realized that he was being divinely inspired, so I kept away from him till the inspiration was over. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Muhammad, they ask you regarding the Spirit, say, the Spirit, its knowledge is with my Lord, that is, nobody has its knowledge except Allah, Surah 17, Ayah 85. This is a miracle of the Qur'an that all the scientists up till now do not know about the Spirit, that is, how life comes to a body and how it goes away at its death. Hadīth 29. Narrated Ibn Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, wore a gold ring and then the people followed him and wore gold rings too. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I had this golden ring made for myself. He then threw it away and said, I shall never put it on. Thereupon the people also threw their rings away. Hadīth 30. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to his companions, "Do not fast al-Wisal." They said, "But you fast al-Wisal." He said, "I am not like you, for at night my Lord feeds me and makes me drink." But the people did not give up al-Wisal, so the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, fasted al-Wisal with them for 2 days or 2 nights, and then they saw the crescent, whereupon the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "If the crescent had delayed I would have continued fasting, because of you," as if he wanted to vanquish them completely, because they had refused to give up al-Wisal. Hadīth 31. Narrated Ibrahim at-Taymī's father, Ali addressed us while he was standing on a brick pulpit and carrying a sword from which was hanging a scroll. He said, "By Allah, we have no book to read except Allah's book and whatever is on this scroll," and then he unrolled it, and behold, in it was written what sort of camels were to be given as blood money, and there was also written in it, "Medina is a sanctuary from Mayr, mountain, to such and such place, so whoever innovates in it in heresy or commits a sin therein, he will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and Allah will not accept his compulsory or optional good deeds." There was also written in it, "The asylum, pledge of protection, granted by any Muslim is one and the same, even a Muslim of the lowest status is to be secured and respected by all the other Muslims, and whoever betrays a Muslim in this respect, by violating the pledge, will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and Allah will not accept his compulsory or optional good deeds." There was also written in it, "Whoever, freed slave, befriends, takes as masters, other than his real masters, manumitters, without their permission, will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and Allah will not accept his compulsory or optional good deeds." Hadīth 32. Narrated Aisha, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did something as it was allowed from the religious point of view, but some people refrained from it. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, heard of that, he, after glorifying and praising Allah, said, "Why do some people refrain from doing something which I do? By Allah, I know Allah more than they." Hadīth 33. Narrated Ibn Abi Mulaika, once the 2 righteous men, that is, Abu Bakr and Umar, were on the verge of destruction, and that was because, when the delegate of Bani Tamim came to the Prophet, one of them, either Abu Bakr or Umar, recommended al-Aqra bin Habis at-Tamimi al-Hanzali, the brother of Bani Mujashi, to be appointed as their chief, while the other recommended somebody else. Abu Bakr said to Umar, "You intended only to oppose me." Umar said, "I did not intend to oppose you." Then their voices grew louder in front of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, whereupon there was revealed, "O you who believe, do not raise your voices above the voice of the Prophet, a great reward." Surah 49, Ayat 2-3. Ibn Az-Zubayr said, "Thenceforward when Umar talked to the Prophet, he would talk like one who whispered a secret and would even fail to make the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, hear him, in which case the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, would ask him to repeat his words." Hadīth 34. Narrated Aisha, the mother of believers, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, during his fatal ailment said, "Order Abu Bakr to lead the people in prayer." I said, "If Abu Bakr stood at your place, in prayers, the people will not be able to hear him because of his weeping, so order Umar to lead the people in prayer." He again said, "Order Abu Bakr to lead the people in prayer." Then I said to Hafsa, "Will you say, to the Prophet, if Abu Bakr stood at your place, the people will not be able to hear him because of his weeping, so order Umar to lead the people in prayer?" Hafsa did so, whereupon Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "You are like the companions of Joseph." See Qur'an, Surah 12, Ayat 30-32. Order Abu Bakr to lead the people in prayer. Hafsa then said to me, "I have never received any good from you." Hadīth 35. Narrated Sahal bin Sa'd as-Sa'idi, Uwaymir al-Ajlani came to Asim bin Adi and said, "If a man found another man with his wife and killed him, would you sentence the husband to death, in Qisas, that is, equality in punishment? Oh Asim! Please ask Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, about this matter on my behalf. Asim asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, but the Prophet disliked the question and disapproved of it. Asim returned and informed Uwaymir that the Prophet disliked that type of question. Uwaymir said, by Allah, I will go, personally, to the Prophet. Uwaymir came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, when Allah had already revealed Quranic verses, in that respect, after Asim had left, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to Uwaymir, Allah has revealed Quranic verses regarding you and your wife. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then called for them, and they came and carried out the order of li'an. Then Uwaymir said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Now if I kept her with me, I would be accused of telling a lie. So Uwaymir divorced her, although the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not order him to do so. Later on, this practice of divorcing became the tradition of couples involved in a case of li'an. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to the people, wait for her. If she delivers a red short, small, child like a wahara, a short red animal, then I will be of the opinion that he, Uwaymir, has told a lie, but if she delivered a black big-eyed one with big buttocks, then I will be of the opinion that he has told the truth about her. Ultimately she gave birth to a child that proved the accusation. Hadīth 36. Narrated Malik bin Aus an-Nasri, I proceeded till I entered upon Umar, and while I was sitting there, his gatekeeper, Yarfa, came to him and said, Uthman, Abdurrahman, Az-Zubayr and Sa'd ask your permission to come in. Umar allowed them. So they entered, greeted, and sat down. After a while the gatekeeper came, and said, Shall I admit Ali and Abbas? Umar allowed them to enter. Al-Abbas said, O chief of the believers, judge between me and the oppressor, Ali. Then there was a dispute, regarding the property of Bani Nadir, between them, Abbas and Ali. Uthman and his companion said, O chief of the believers, judge between them and relieve one from the other. Umar said, Be patient. I beseech you by Allah, with whose permission the heaven and the earth exist. Do you know that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Our property is not to be inherited, and whatever we leave is to be given in charity, and by this Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, meant himself? On that the group said, He verily said so. Umar then faced Ali and Abbas and said, I beseech you both by Allah, do you both know that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said so? They both replied, Yes. Umar then said, Now I am talking to you about this matter, in detail. Allah favored Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, with some of this wealth which he did not give to anybody else, as Allah said, What Allah bestowed as booty, on his apostle for which you made no expedition. Surah 59, Ayah 6. So that property was totally meant for Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, yet he did not collect it and ignore you, nor did he withhold it with your exclusion, but he gave it to you and distributed it among you till this much of it was left behind, and the Prophet used to spend of this as the yearly expenditures of his family and then take what remained of it and spend it as he did with Allah's wealth. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did so during all his lifetime, and I beseech you by Allah, do you know that? They replied, Yes. Umar then addressed Ali and Abbas, saying, I beseech you both by Allah, do you know that? Both of them replied, Yes. Umar added, Then Allah took his apostle unto him. Abu Bakr then said, I am the successor of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and took over all the Prophet's property and disposed of it in the same way as Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, used to do, and you were present then. Then he turned to Ali and Abbas and said, You both claim that Abu Bakr did so and so in managing the property, but Allah knows that Abu Bakr was honest, righteous, intelligent, and a follower of what is right in managing it. Then Allah took Abu Bakr unto him. I said, I am the successor of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr. So I took over the property for 2 years and managed it in the same way as Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr used to do. Then you both, Ali and Abbas, came to me and asked for the same thing. O Abbas! You came to me to ask me for your share from your nephew's property, and this, Ali, came to me asking for his wife's share from her father's property, and I said to you both, if you wish, I will place it in your custody on condition that you both will manage it in the same way as Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr did, and as I have been doing since I took charge of managing it. Otherwise do not speak to me any more about it. Then you both said, give it to us on that condition. So I gave it to you on that condition. Now I beseech you by Allah, did I not give it to them on that condition? The group, whom he had been addressing, replied, yes. Umar then addressed Abbas and Ali saying, I beseech you both by Allah, didn't I give you all that property on that condition? They said, yes. Umar then said, are you now seeking a verdict from me other than that? By him with whose permission the heaven and the earth exists, I will not give any verdict other than that till the hour is established, and if you both are unable to manage this property, then you can hand it back to me, and I will be sufficient for it on your behalf. Hadīth 37. Narrated Asim, I said to Anas, did Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, make Medina a sanctuary? He replied, yes, Medina is a sanctuary from such and such place to such and such place. It is forbidden to cut its trees, and whoever innovates an heresy in it or commits a sin therein, will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people. Then Musa bin Anas told me that Anas added, or gives refuge to such an heretic or a sinner. Hadīth 38. Narrated Abdullāh bin Amr, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, Allah will not deprive you of knowledge after he has given it to you, but it will be taken away through the death of the religious learned men with their knowledge. Then there will remain ignorant people who, when consulted, will give verdicts according to their opinions, whereby they will mislead others and go astray. Hadīth 39. Narrated Al-Amash, I asked Abu Wa'il, did you witness the battle of Siffin between Ali and Muawiyah? He said, yes, and added, then I heard Sahal bin Hunayf saying, O people! Blame your personal opinions in your religion. No doubt, I remember myself on the day of Abi Jandal, if I had the power to refuse the order of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, I would have refused it. We have never put our swords on our shoulders to get involved in a situation that might have been horrible for us, but those swords brought us to victory and peace, except this present situation. Abu Wa'il said, I witnessed the battle of Siffin, and how nasty Siffin was. Hadīth 40. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, I fell ill, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr came to visit me on foot. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came to me while I was unconscious. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, performed ablution and poured the remaining water of his ablution over me, whereupon I became conscious and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. How should I spend my wealth? Or how should I deal with my wealth? But the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not give me any reply till the verse of the laws of inheritance was revealed. Hadīth 41. Narrated Abu Sa'id, a woman came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Men, only, benefit by your teachings, so please devote to us from, some of, your time, a day on which we may come to you so that you may teach us of what Allah has taught you. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, gather on such and such a day at such and such a place. They gathered, and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, came to them and taught them of what Allah had taught him. He then said, no woman among you who has lost her 3 children, died, but that they will screen her from the fire. A woman among them said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. If she lost 2 children? She repeated her question twice, whereupon the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, even 2, even 2, even 2. Hadith 42. Narrated Al-Mughirah bin Shu'bah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, a group of my followers will remain predominant, victorious, till Allah's order, the hour, comes upon them while they are still predominant, victorious. Hadith 43. Narrated Humayd, I heard Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan delivering a sermon. He said, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, if Allah wants to do a favor to somebody, He bestows on him the gift of understanding the Qur'an and Sunnah. I am but a distributor, and Allah is the giver. The state of this nation will remain good till the hour is established, or till Allah's order comes. Hadith 44. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, when the following verse was revealed to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, say, He has power to send torment on you from above, Surah 6, Ayah 65, he said, O Allah! I seek refuge with your face, from that punishment. And when this was revealed, or from beneath your feet. Surah 6, Ayah 65, he said, O Allah! I seek refuge with your face, from that. And when this verse was revealed, or to cover you with confusion in party strife, and make you to taste the violence of one another, Surah 6, Ayah 65, he said, these 2 warnings are easier than the previous ones. Hadith 45. Narrated Abu Hurairah, a Bedouin came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, my wife has delivered a black boy, and I suspect that he is not my child. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said to him, have you got camels? The Bedouin said, yes. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, what color are they? The Bedouin said, they are red. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, are any of them gray? He said, there are gray ones among them. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whence do you think this color came to them? The Bedouin said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. It resulted from hereditary disposition. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, and this, that is, your child, has inherited his color from his ancestors. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not allow him to deny his paternity of the child. Hadith 46. Narrated Ibn Abbas, a woman came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, my mother vowed to perform the Hajj but she died before performing it. Should I perform the Hajj on her behalf? He said, yes. Perform the Hajj on her behalf. See, if your mother had been in debt, would you have paid her debt? She said, yes. He said, so you should pay what is for him as Allah has more right that one should fulfill one's obligations to him. Hadith 47. Narrated Abdullāh, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not wish to be like anybody except in 2 cases, the case of a man whom Allah has given wealth and he spends it in the right way, and that of a man whom Allah has given religious wisdom, that is, Qur'an and Sunnah, and he gives his verdicts according to it and teaches it, to others, that is, religious knowledge of Qur'an and Sunnah, Prophet's traditions. Hadith 48. Narrated Al-Mughirah bin Shu'bah, Umar bin al-Khattab asked, the people, about the in-laws of a woman, that is, a woman who has an abortion because of having been beaten on her abdomen, saying, who among you has heard anything about it from the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him? I said, I did. He said, what is that? I said, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, its diya, blood money, is either a male or a female slave. Umar said, "Do not leave till you present witness in support of your statement." So I went out, and found Muhammad bin Maslamah. I brought him, and he bore witness with me that he had heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, "Its diya, blood money, is either a male slave or a female slave." Hadith 49. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "The hour will not be established till my followers copy the deeds of the previous nations and follow them very closely, span by span, and cubit by cubit, that is, inch by inch." It was said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Do you mean by those nations, the Persians and the Byzantines?" The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Who can it be other than they?" Hadith 50. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "You will follow the ways of those nations who were before you, span by span and cubit by cubit, that is, inch by inch, so much so that even if they entered a hole of a mastigir, you would follow them." We said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Do you mean the Jews and the Christians?" He said, "Whom else?" Hadith 51. Narrated Abdullāh, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "None is killed unjustly, but the first son of Adam will have a part of its burden." Sufyan said, "A part of its blood because he was the first to establish the tradition of murdering." Hadith 52. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh as-Salami, a Bedouin gave the pledge of allegiance for embracing Islam to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and then he got an attack of fever in Medina and came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Cancel my pledge." Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, refused to do so. The Bedouin came to him again and said, "Cancel my pledge," but he refused again, and then again the Bedouin came to him and said, "Cancel my pledge," and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, refused. The Bedouin finally went away, and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Medina is like a pair of bellows, furnace, it expels its impurities while it brightens and clears its good." Hadith 53. Narrated Ibn Abbas, "I used to teach Qur'an to Abdurrahman bin Auf. When Umar performed his last Hajj, Abdurrahman said, to me, at Mina, 'Would that you had seen chief of the believers today.' A man came to him and said, 'So-and-so has said, if chief of the believers died, we will give the oath of allegiance to such and such person.' Umar said, 'I will get up tonight and warn those who want to usurp the people's rights.' I said, 'Do not do so, for the season of Hajj gathers the riffraff mob who will form the majority of your audience, and I am afraid that they will not understand the meaning of your saying properly and may spread an incorrect statement everywhere. You should wait till we reach Medina, the place of migration and the place of the Sunnah, the Prophet's traditions. There you will meet the companions of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, from the Muhajirin and the Ansar who will understand your statement and place it in its proper position.' Umar said, 'By Allah, I shall do so the first time I stand to address the people in Medina.' When we reached Medina, Umar, in a Friday khutbah sermon, said, 'No doubt, Allah sent Muhammad with the truth and revealed to him the book, Qur'an, and among what was revealed was the verse of our rajm, stoning adulterers to death.' Hadith 54. Narrated Muhammad, "We were with Abu Hurairah while he was wearing 2 linen garments dyed with red clay. He cleaned his nose with his garment, saying, 'Bravo! Bravo! Abu Hurairah is cleaning his nose with linen.' There came a time when I would fall senseless between the pulpit of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Aisha's dwelling, whereupon a passerby would come and put his foot on my neck, considering me a mad man, but in fact, I had no madness, I suffered nothing but hunger." Hadith 55. Narrated Abdurrahman bin Abbas, Ibn Abbas was asked, "Did you offer the Eid prayer with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him? He said, Yes, had it not been for my close relation to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, I would not have performed it, with him, because of my being too young. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came to the mark which is near the home of Kathir bin Salt and offered the Eid prayer and then delivered the sermon. I do not remember if any adhan or iqamah were pronounced for the prayer. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered the women to give alms, and they started stretching out their hands towards their ears and throats, giving their ornaments in charity, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered Bilal to go to them, to collect the alms, and then Bilal returned to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadith 56. Narrated Ibn Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to go to the Kaaba mosque, sometimes walking, sometimes riding. Hadith 57. Narrated Hisham's father, Aisha said to Abdullāh bin Az-Zubayr, Bury me with my female companions, that is, the wives of the Prophet, and do not bury me with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, in the house, for I do not like to be regarded as sanctified, just for being buried there. Narrated Hisham's father, Umar sent a message to Aisha, saying, Will you allow me to be buried with my two companions, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr? She said, Yes, by Allah, though it was her habit that if a man from among the companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, sent her a message asking her to allow him to be buried there, she would say, No, by Allah, I will never give permission to anyone to be buried with them. Hadith 58. Narrated Anas bin Malik, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, used to perform the Asr prayer and then one could reach the Awali, a place in the outskirts of Medina, while the sun was still quite high. Narrated Yunus, the distance of the Awali, from Medina, was 4 or 3 miles. Hadith 59. Narrated Sa'ib bin Yazid, the Sa', a kind of measure, during the lifetime of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to be equal to 1 mud, another kind of measure, and 1/3 of a mud which we use today, but the Sa' of today has become large. Hadith 60. Narrated Anas bin Malik, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, O Allah! Bestow your blessings on their measures, and bestow your blessings on their Sa' and mud. He meant those of the people of Medina. Hadith 61. Narrated Ibn Umar, the Jews brought a man and a woman who had committed illegal sexual intercourse to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered them to be stoned to death, and they were stoned to death near the mosque where the biers used to be placed. Hadith 62. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the mountain of Uhud came in sight of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, who then said, This is a mountain that loves us and is loved by us. O Allah! Abraham made Makkah a sanctuary, and I make the area between its, Madinas, 2 mountains a sanctuary. Hadith 63. Narrated Sahih, the distance between the pulpit and the wall of the mosque on the side of the Qibla was just sufficient for a sheep to pass through. Hadith 64. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Between my house and my pulpit there is a garden from one of the gardens of paradise, and my pulpit is over my lake tank, Kawthar. Hadith 65. Narrated Nafi, Abdullāh said, The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, arranged for a horse race, and the prepared horses were given less food for a few days before the race to win the race, and were allowed to run from Al-Hafyā to Thaniyat al-Wada, and the unprepared horses were allowed to run between Thaniyat al-Wada and the mosque of Bani Zuraik. Abdullāh was one of those who participated in the race. Hadith 66. Narrated Ibn Umar, I heard Umar, delivering a sermon, on the pulpit of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadith 67. Narrated Sa'ib bin Yazid, that he heard Uthman bin Affan delivering a sermon on the pulpit of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadith 68. Narrated Aisha, this big copper vessel used to be put for me and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and we would take water from it together, on taking a bath. Hadīth 69. Narrated Anas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, brought the Ansar and the Quraysh people into alliance in my house at Medina, and he invoked Allah for 1 month against the tribe of Bani Sulaymin, the last rak'ah of each compulsory prayer. Hadīth 70. Narrated Abu Burda, when I arrived at Medina, Abdullāh bin Salam met me and said to me, accompany me to my house so that I may make you drink from a bowl from which Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, used to drink, and that you may offer prayer in the mosque in which the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to pray. I accompanied him, and he made me drink sawiq and gave me dates to eat, and then I prayed in his mosque. Hadīth 71. Narrated Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to me, someone came to me tonight from my Lord while I was in the Aqiq valley, and said to me, offer prayer in this blessed valley and say, Labbaik, for the performance of Umrah and Hajj. Hadīth 72. Narrated Abdullah bin Dinar, Ibn Umar said, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, fixed Qarn as the miqat, for assuming the ihram, for the people of Najd, and Al-Jufa for the people of Sham, and Dhul Hulayfa for the people of Medina. Ibn Umar added, I heard this from the Prophet, and I have been informed that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the miqat for the Yemenites is Yalamlam. When Iraq was mentioned, he said, at that time it was not a Muslim country. Hadīth 73. Narrated Abdullah bin Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had a dream in the last portion of the night when he was sleeping at Dhul Hulayfa. In the dream, it was said to him, you are in a blessed batha, that is, valley. Hadīth 74. Narrated Ibn Umar, that he heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, after raising his head from the bowing in morning prayer, saying, O Allah, our Lord, all the praises are for you. And in the last rak'ah, he said, O Allah, curse so-and-so and so-and-so. And then Allah revealed, not for you, O Muhammad, is the decision, but for Allah, whether he turns in mercy to them or punishes them, for they are indeed wrongdoers. Surah 3, Ayah 128. Hadīth 75. Narrated Ali bin Abi Talib, that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, came to him and Fatima, the daughter of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, at their house at night and said, won't you pray? Ali replied, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Our souls are in the hands of Allah, and when he wants us to get up, he makes us get up. When Ali said that to him, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, left without saying anything to him. While the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was leaving, Ali heard him striking his thigh, with his hand, and saying, but man is quarrelsome more than anything else. Surah 18, Ayah 54. Hadīth 76. Narrated Abu Hurairah, while we were in the mosque, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, came out and said, let us proceed to the Jews. So we went out with him till we came to Bayt al-Madras. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stood up there and called them, saying, O assembly of Jews! Surrender to Allah, embrace Islam, and you will be safe. They said, you have conveyed Allah's message, O Abba al-Qasim. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, then said to them, that is what I want, embrace Islam and you will be safe. They said, you have conveyed the message, O Abba al-Qasim. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, then said to them, that is what I want, and repeated his words for the third time and added, know that the earth is for Allah and I want to exile you from this land, so whoever among you has property he should sell it, otherwise, know that the land is for Allah and his apostle. Hadīth 77. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Noah will be brought, before Allah, on the day of resurrection, and will be asked, "Did you convey the message of Allah?" He will reply, "Yes, O Lord." And then Noah's nation will be asked, "Did he, Noah, convey Allah's message to you?" They will reply, "No warner came to us." Then Noah will be asked, "Who are your witnesses?" He will reply, "My witnesses are Muhammad and his followers." Thereupon you, Muslims, will be brought and you will bear witness. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, recited, "And thus we have made of you, Muslims, a just and the best nation, that you might be witness over the nations, and the Apostle a witness over you." Surah 2, Ayah 143. Hadīth 78. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri and Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, sent the brother of the tribe of Bani Adi al-Ansari as governor of Khaybar. Then the man returned, bringing janib, a good kind of date. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, asked him, "Are all the dates of Khaybar like that?" He replied, "No, by Allah, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. We take 1 saw of these, good, dates for 2 saws of mixed dates." Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, then said, "Do not do so. You should either take 1 saw of this kind, for 1 saw of the other, or sell 1 kind and then buy with its price the other kind, of dates, and you should do the same in weighing." Hadīth 79. Narrated Amr bin al-As, that he heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, "If a judge gives a verdict according to the best of his knowledge and his verdict is correct, that is, agrees with Allah and his apostle's verdict, he will receive a double reward, and if he gives a verdict according to the best of his knowledge and his verdict is wrong, that is, against that of Allah and his apostle, even then he will get a reward." Hadīth 80. Narrated Ubay bin Umar, Abu Musa asked permission to enter upon Umar, but seeing that he was busy, he went away. Umar then said, "Didn't I hear the voice of Abdullāh bin Qais? Allow him to come in." He was called in and Umar said to him, "What made you do what you did?" He replied, "We have been instructed thus by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him." Umar said, "Bring proof, witness, for this, otherwise I will do so and so to you." Then Abdullāh bin Qais went to a gathering of the Ansar who then said, "None but the youngest of us will give the witness for it." So Abu Sa'id al-Khudri got up and said, "We used to be instructed thus, by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him." Umar said, "This tradition of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, remained hidden from me. Business in the market kept me busy." Hadīth 81. Narrated Al-A'raj, Abu Hurairah said, "You people claim that Abu Hurairah narrates many narrations of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Anyhow, with Allah will be our appointment. I was a poor man, and used to stick to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, contented with what will fill my stomach, and the Muhajirin, emigrants, used to be busy trading in the markets, and the Ansar used to be busy looking after their properties. One day, I heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, Who will spread his rida, a garment covering the upper part of the body, till I finished my speech and then fold it, that is, wrap it over your body, in which case he will never forget anything he had heard from me. So I spread my garment which I was wearing, and by him who sent Muhammad with the truth, ever since, I have never forgotten whatever I heard from him, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him." Hadīth 82. Narrated Muhammad bin al-Munkadir, I saw Jabir bin Abdullāh swearing by Allah that Ibn Sayyad was the Dajjal. I said to Jabir, How can you swear by Allah? Jabir said, I have heard Umar swearing by Allah regarding this matter in the presence of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not disapprove of it. Hadīth 83. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Horses may be used for 3 purposes, for a man they may be a source of reward, in the hereafter, for another, a means of protection, and for another, a source of sin. The man for whom they are a source of reward, is the one who keeps them for Allah's cause and ties them with long ropes and lets them graze in a pasture or garden. Whatever those long ropes allow them to eat of that pasture or garden, will be written as good deeds for him, and if they break their ropes and run 1 or 2 rounds, then all their footsteps and dung will be written as good deeds for him, and if they pass a river and drink from it though he has had no intention of watering them, even then, that will be written as good deeds for him. So such horses are a source of reward for that man. For the man who keeps horses for his livelihood in order not to ask others for help or beg his bread, and at the same time he does not forget Allah's right of what he earns through them and of their backs, that he presents it to be used in Allah's cause, such horses are a shelter for him, from poverty. For the man who keeps them just out of pride and for showing off, they are a source of sin. Then Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, was asked about donkeys. He said, Allah has not revealed anything to me regarding them except this comprehensive verse. Then anyone who has done good, equal to the weight of an atom, or a small ant, shall see it, and anyone who has done evil, equal to the weight of an atom, or a small ant, shall see it. Surah 99, Ayat 7-8. Hadīth 84. Narrated Aisha, a woman asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, about the periods, how to take a bath after the periods. He said, take a perfumed piece of cloth and clean yourself with it. She said, how shall I clean myself with it, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, clean yourself. She said again, how shall I clean myself, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, clean yourself with it. Then I knew what Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, meant. So I pulled her aside and explained it to her. Hadīth 85. Narrated Ibn Abbas, Hufayd bint al-Harith bin Huzn presented the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, with some butter, dried yogurt, curd milk, and mastigers as a gift. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then asked for a meal, mastigers etc. to be put, and it was eaten over his tablecloth, but the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not eat of it, as he had aversion to it. But if it had been illegal to eat, it would not have been eaten over his tablecloth, nor would he have ordered that, mastigers meat, to be eaten. Hadīth 86. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whoever has eaten garlic or onion, should keep away from us, or should keep away from our mosque and should stay at home. Ibn Wahab said, once a plate full of cooked vegetables was brought to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, at butter. Detecting a bad smell from it, he asked about the dish and was informed of the kinds of vegetables it contained. He then said, bring it near, and so it was brought near to one of his companions who was with him. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saw it, he disliked eating it and said, to his companion, eat, for I talk in secret to ones whom you do not talk to. Hadīth 87. Narrated Jubayr bin Mut'im, a lady came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and she talked to him about something, and he gave her some order. She said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. If I should not find you? He said, if you should not find me, then go to Abu Bakr. Ibrahim bin Sa'd said, as if she meant the death of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadīth 88. Narrated Humayd bin Abdur Rahman that he heard Muawiyah talking to a group of people from Quraysh at Al-Madinah, and on mentioning Ka'b al-Ahbar, he said, he was one of the most truthful of those who used to talk about the people of the scripture, yet we used to detect certain faults in his information. Hadīth 89. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the people of the book used to read the Torah in Hebrew and then explain it in Arabic to the Muslims. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to the Muslims, do not believe the people of the book, nor disbelieve them, but say, we believe in Allah and whatever is revealed to us, and whatever is revealed to you. Hadith 90. Narrated Ubaydullah ibn Abbas said, why do you ask the people of the scripture about anything while your book, Qur'an, which has been revealed to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, is newer and the latest? You read it pure, undistorted and unchanged, and Allah has told you that the people of the scripture, Jews and Christians, changed their scripture and distorted it, and wrote the scripture with their own hands and said, it is from Allah, to sell it for a little gain. Does not the knowledge which has come to you prevent you from asking them about anything? No, by Allah, we have never seen any man from them asking you regarding what has been revealed to you. Hadith 91. Narrated Jundub bin Abdullāh, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, recite, and study, the Qur'an as long as you are in agreement as to its interpretation and meanings, but when you have differences regarding its interpretation and meanings, then you should stop reciting it, for the time being. Hadith 92. Narrated Jundub bin Abdullāh, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, recite, and study, the Qur'an as long as your hearts are in agreement as to its meanings, but if you have differences as regards its meaning, stop reading it then. Hadith 93. Narrated Ibn Abbas, when the time of the death of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, approached while there were some men in the house, and among them was Umar bin al-Khattab, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, come near, let me write for you a writing after which you will never go astray. Umar said, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, is seriously ill, and you have the Qur'an, so Allah's book is sufficient for us. The people in the house differed and disputed. Some of them said, come near, so that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, may write for you a writing after which you will not go astray, while some of them said what Umar said. When they made much noise and differed greatly before the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he said to them, go away and leave me. Ibn Abbas used to say, it was a great disaster that their difference and noise prevented Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, from writing that writing for them. Hadith 94. Narrated Atā, I heard Jabir bin Abdullāh in a gathering saying, we, the companions of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, assumed the state of Ihram to perform only Hajj without Umrah. Jabir added, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, arrived, at Makkah, on the 4th of Dhul Hijjah. And when we arrived, in Makkah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered us to finish the state of Ihram, saying, finish your Ihram and go to your wives, for sexual relation. Jabir added, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not oblige us, to go to our wives, but he only made that legal for us. Then he heard that we were saying, when there remains only 5 days between us and the day of Arafat, he orders us to finish our Ihram by sleeping with our wives, in which case we will proceed to Arafat with our male organs dribbling with semen. Jabir pointed out with his hand illustrating what he was saying. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, stood up and said, you, people, know that I am the most Allah-fearing, the most truthful and the best doer of good deeds, pious, from among you. If I had not brought the hadi with me, I would have finished my Ihram as you will do, so finish your Ihram. If I had formerly known what I came to know lately, I would not have brought the hadi with me. So we finished our Ihram and listened to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and obeyed him. Hadith 95. Narrated Abdullāh al-Muzani, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, perform an optional prayer before Maghrib prayer. He repeated it thrice, and the third time he said, whoever wants to offer it can do so, lest the people should take it as a Sunnah, tradition. Hadith 96. Narrated Aisha, after the slanderers had given a forged statement against her, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, called Ali bin Abi Talib and Usama bin Zayd when the divine inspiration was delayed. He wanted to ask them and consult them about the question of divorcing me. Usama gave his evidence that was based on what he knew about my innocence, but Ali said, Allah has not put restrictions on you and there are many women other than her. Furthermore, you may ask the slave girl who will tell you the truth. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked Barira, my slave girl, have you seen anything that may arouse your suspicion? She replied, I have not seen anything more than that she is a little girl who sleeps, leaving the dough of her family, unguarded, that the domestic goats come and eat it. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, stood on the pulpit and said, O Muslims! Who will help me against the man who has harmed me by slandering my wife? By Allah, I know nothing about my family except good. The narrator added, then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, mentioned the innocence of Aisha. Hadīth 97. Narrated Aisha, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, addressed the people, and after praising and glorifying Allah, he said, what do you suggest me regarding those people who are abusing my wife? I have never known anything bad about her. The sub-narrator, Urwa, said, when Aisha was told of the slander, she said, O Allah's Apostle! Will you allow me to go to my parents' home? He allowed her and sent a slave along with her. An Ansari man said, Subhanaka! It is not right for us to speak about this. Subhanaka! This is a great lie.